Here's an unexpected find from a second-hand bookshop in the area. In fact, I didn't even really know this book existed. It came out in 1981, and it's photographs taken by Barbara Crane in the period from 1948 to 1980. And I prepared this a little. I don't want to go through the whole book, but I'll show you the reasons why I bought the book. So the first body of work I got interested in when I looked at this is called Neon. And real reason there's a bunch of images with neon signs, reflections of neon signs superimposed, which I think they're actually pretty cool. In particular the next two, which I thought were really quite nice. I had never seen these photographs before. So then there's so this is kind of interesting. Even more interesting, are these here. Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina, 1971, where the photographer combined different images into one. These kinds of strips of buildings on the side, these portraits here. It does look a little bit dated, and I hope nobody will mind me saying that, but on the other side it still looks very nice, and I like how this kind of setup really works with the images and creates all kinds of narratives and graphical illusions in a way. I like the combination of the portraiture with just, random, I suppose you want to call this a street photograph, and then there are these more formal photographs of these houses, almost taken, I don't know, if you want to call it a typology, I don't know, but I suppose you could call it a typology of houses on the beach. It's interesting how all these different types of images are just simply combined into one. Okay, the third part, and this is where it got even more interesting for me, is People of the North Portal. These are from the early 70s, and these are all people leaving the same building through the same door, and I suppose the photographer just snapped a picture whenever people emerged from the building. And some of these are just really spectacular, just waiting for people to come out. In a way, these reminded me of Bill Sullivan's Three Situations. It's basically the same idea. Of course, this is way earlier, and it does look different. So there are also these portraits, crops, I'm assuming, from the individual photographs. I really like the layout of the book. If you just look at this, I think it's very simple, but I think it's a very convincing way of showing photography. The black background works really well, and I like that instead of just showing one image at a time, you get to see four. Or in this case, if you just open it all up and look at the page, there are 8 images. This makes it look a little different from the usual, one image, one blank page, one image, one blank page. And lastly, the final body of work that I was very interested in is the Chicago beaches and parks, shot over a period of 6 years. And there's just a whole bunch of very, very lovely photographs in this series. And I like this kind of, I want to call it maybe graphic or high contrast or whatever you want to call it, black and white. Yeah, I just love this body of work. I think it's pretty spectacular. And I wasn't aware of this body of work, and I actually like it better than the color work at the end of the book. So I don't know, this book is probably easy to get. I haven't looked it up on Amazon or any of these places where you can buy books used, A-Libris. But it's definitely something that I would recommend to anybody interested in contemporary photography and interested in seeing, what people were up to well, it's almost 40 years ago now. This is pretty crazy. Okay, and then it goes on. There's a whole bunch more stuff. It's a commuter series. I'm not so excited about a lot of the other projects. Here's all from the commuter series. Just to give you one quick idea, at the end there's a Polaroid, Polar Color 2 chapter with various rather uninspiring Polaroids. I don't know. You might like these. I don't know. I'm just not too crazy about these diptych sounds. So this is Barbara Crane, photographs 48 to 1980, with a couple essays that I haven't read. They might be good, they might not be good, who knows. And I paid $20 for it, and I don't know whether that's a good deal, but it should give you an idea of approximately what you will end up paying